I recently had a gym workout that taught me a very powerful lesson about procrastination. In this video, I want to share that lesson with you so that you can apply it to your own life to reach your goals without procrastinating. But a little about me beforehand. I'm Anthony, and I've been fighting procrastination for over 2 years. And in that time, I've learned a ton. I've learned so many lessons. I've gotten in the best shape I've ever been. I've made massive progress on my YouTube channel, and I've even helped other people stop procrastinating. I've learned a ton of lessons, but this one is one that you really should listen to. It's one that, when you realize it feels so simple, but it'll make everything click for you. It'll make you realize that procrastination is really just all in your head. And that gym workout I had, I was feeling really insecure. I'm usually a pretty social guy, I talk to people I know. But on that specific day, I don't know what about it. It was just one of those days where you're just not really feeling all that. I usually don't listen to music in the gym either. So I was just stuck with my own thoughts. And I was feeling insecure. I wanted to talk to these people, by the way. There was these 2 people who walked up next to me. I was on the cable machine. And these 2 people, they were just chatting for, I felt like hours. They were probably chatting for at least 10 minutes. And they felt really cool social guys. And I wanted to talk to them. But I kept delaying it. I didn't want to walk up to them and get the potential rejection that they just didn't want to talk to me. And so in my head, I was thinking, okay, I want to talk to him, but I'm kind of insecure right now. I don't want to talk to him, but I want to talk to him. And I was going back and forth in my head until finally both guys just walked away. They walked away and I didn't get a chance to talk to them. Right, that immediately lowered my confidence. I was already pretty low. That just dipped it already. I was feeling horrible. I'm not even going to lie. I was honestly thinking about just leaving the gym because I was feeling very badly. But then, all of a sudden, I see one of my friends walk in, or acquaintances, I'll call him. I see him and I immediately go to dap him up. What's up, bro? What are you going to hit today? Immediately, that got me back up. My confidence immediately raised above where I was just because I recognized someone I knew. And then afterwards, I talked to this other person I know. And I'm actually starting to feel good again. I'm getting into that social flow where I'm actually wanting to talk to other people. I even ended up talking to 3 new people. I talked to this really tall girl, like 6'1". I was impressed, by the way. I'm 5'8". I had to look way up when I was talking to her. She was 6'1". I just talked to some random girl, and then I talked to this other random girl. She was very short, so it was like a big tall girl versus a really short girl. And then the third person, I actually ended up seeing the guy who I saw at the cable machine. I was so excited because he was just by himself. He was kind of spacing out, doing his own thing. I walked up to him as fast as I could. The moment I got that social flow and energy from talking to those other people, as well as talking to those new girls, I was feeling so confident. I just walked up to that guy like I owned the gym. And he turned out really cool. I'm trying to work out with him sometime. But I only got to that point. I went from wanting to leave the gym as fast as possible to actually being upset when I had to leave, when I finished my workout fully. The difference between those 2 states that I was in was that I had momentum. In that case, it was social momentum, but momentum is what led me to stop procrastinating. I was procrastinating, right? But the actual problem wasn't that I was procrastinating on those social situations. The actual problem was that I lacked momentum. Procrastination is actually a lack of momentum. And the moment you get that extra little push that you need, it doesn't have to be big. It can just be a tiny little action. Immediately you get into that mood, that energy where you're actually ready. You're feeling good and you're in a flow state. I swear, this is so powerful. I wish I knew this earlier because it just made everything click. I realized that, the snowball analogy I've been using so long is even more right than I thought. It's that, imagine that you're a snowball sitting on the very top of a hill and you're not really going anywhere, right? You're just sitting there, nothing's happening. But the moment you give it a tiny little push, just a little poke, it starts rolling down and it gains mass, it gains speed until it's at the bottom of this hill and it's a huge avalanche. All of that power and all of that momentum was only caused by a small little push. That little push is exactly what we need to take action. That little push is the small action that you need to take to get into that right mood. You're procrastinating because you're going from watching YouTube and sitting on your couch to doing the actions that you need to do. You're going from 0 to 100, and cars don't do that, let alone us. We're not ready to go that fast that soon. We need to ease into it. We need to get a little bit of speed and power before we go up to the hundreds, just like a car. We need to get that little push as fast as possible. So how do we do that? Well, there's really two main ways. One is kind of funny, but the others, they both work. The first is to make that first action, no matter what it is, seem as easy as possible. This is because your brain lies to you. Your brain essentially tells you that the action you want to do is harder than it really is. Your brain thinks the difficulty is way up here when in reality it's down here. And so whenever you're starting something, you feel the difficulty is right here. You're allowing your brain to set the difficulty for you. But the moment you actually begin, you realize that the difficulty is down here, and so it drops down instantly. The start is the hardest part of any of this. Our goal is to get past this very beginning part so that we can get into the easy mode. We're going from hard mode for a few seconds and then it's easy mode. It's like that feeling where you need to do a big project, especially a school project, and you're delaying it. You have to write that essay, but you don't want to. And then you're eventually forced to last minute to sit down and do it. And you realize it wasn't even that bad. You could have done this 3 weeks ago in half an hour, but you just decided to push this off for so long and you were stressing out about it the whole time. It's exactly like that. You're realizing that it seems difficult, but that's just because of your brain. The moment you start, it crashes down until it reaches the actual difficulty. Your goal is to get that tiny action as fast as possible, to get as much momentum in as short of a period as possible. The moment you get that, I promise you, you are never going to procrastinate again. It's so powerful how quickly momentum works, because it genuinely takes seconds to work. And that's where the second rule comes in, the 5-second rule. Let's say you're doing something that can't really get done in a few seconds, right? You just want to get momentum now. You even to get off the couch, you need momentum. I get that. I get it. I've been there. Use the 5-second rule by counting down from 5 to 0. And whenever you hit 0, you're just going to do the thing you want to. It sounds so simple. It's funny. It's silly, but it works because you're getting momentum by going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And on 0, you just stand up and do whatever you need to. You're building momentum by literally counting. It's that simple. Both of these strategies work, but it just depends on what kind of thing you need to do. For a big project, do the first one. But if you just need to do a quick, simple, like get off the couch to actually do anything else, you can count down from 5. It's not that hard. And in fact, both of these are everything you need to stop procrastinating. I'm genuinely serious. All of these strategies, they work. All of these hundreds of strategies for procrastination work, but it depends on for what. These strategies work on the deeper level of procrastination. These will work no matter what you're doing. Because as I mentioned earlier, procrastination is simply a lack of momentum. And the moment you start to live by it and realize it, everything's going to change for you. I promise. And if you want my personal help with this, again, this took me 2 years to learn, and I've been actively researching procrastination for all that time. And I've only recently now learned this. I can shortcut you those 2 years that I spent learning all of this knowledge and experience so that you can turn 2 years of learning into 2 weeks. And if you really want that for yourself, you can get your free consultation by clicking the link in the description.